Yeah, so in the previous session, we downloaded PIP. In this session, there are extra libraries or modules that we need to add to the fast API in order to work. So one of the things that we'll be doing is connecting it to our database. The database that you see we'll be using is PostgreSQL, right? And then that's a relational database. So that relational database simply means that objects will be arranged or be grouped in tables. So we'll be creating tables that will contain a group of related objects, right? So we arrange things in tables, rows and columns when it comes to relational databases in simple terms. So PostgreSQL, that's what the database that we are going to use. So we need some libraries that will help us connect to the database, and also we'll be requiring password. So there'll be password that we need to encrypt the password and all that. So those are the things that we need to bring, but libraries that will help our modules that we'll be bringing in order to help us finish our functions. Um, yes, so and other security concern, not just password. We're talking about tokens as well. So we need something that will help us also um, verify tokens in the system. So let's start. So here everything is fresh. Like from previous session we had our virtual environment and requirement file. Right. Let's open our terminal. Let's ignore this. Mm, let's wait for it now. So we are the roots in the root of our project, right? That's at the expense tracker side. So now let's um first first thing is to get into the virtual environment. We are not currently in the virtual environment. Remember, we left. So currently we need to get back into the virtual environment and start the project. Remember the command line that you use to enter, right? So first, my venv. My venv is the name that you give to your virtual environment. For my own is my venv. That's the name I give to my virtual environment. Backslash. Then meaning we are entering. So if you enter the virtual environment folder, we are going to the script side. So script, write it as it is, the backslash again. Then inside the script, there is a folder, there's a file which is activate, right? So you are going to call that activate file. So that's activate. Now, if you still meet the error that we came across yesterday, yeah, in that session I showed how to make sure that your um, execution policy is set to unrestricted or remote sign, so that you can be able to run this script and activate your virtual environment on your system as said. That's if you are using a Windows system. Um, so we have activated our virtual environment. So currently we are inside. We are going to continue downloading modules. And to download modules, what is the popular Python package installer that we use is the PIP. That's the pip um, installer, pip that we call that. So pip again install. So we are asking the Python installer to install something for us. So the first thing that we are going to install is going to be related to the database. So this thing is going to help us to connect our Python or our app to the Postgres database, right? So it's just basically going to act as a connection or an engine that will connect your app to the database, right? Because the database is not in the system currently. We need to connect to it on our system. The database is on our system as well. I asked you to download that in the very first session. Okay, so we install that. To install that, that is that particular connector is called CyclePG2 binary. We are going to download the binary for that. So we need to install this. This is just it's uniquely for Postgres, right? So CyclePG2 binary, that's what we are going to use to connect the fast API to the database system. Let's install that and wait for it to download. Great. Now we have something that we can use to connect the app to the database, right? Now, after doing the connection, we need another um, a mediator or a translator that will take everything that we'll be writing in Python, convert it into database language. so that um, the database will respond to that particular language, right? Basically, we just want someone that can understand something that can understand Python language, understand the database language, and whenever we say something whenever we say something in Python, it will convert it through the engine to convert it to the database language and do the proper function for us, right? So we don't need to write all the database language ourselves. That this particular thing will do it for us. So we are going to install it. Is pip install is SQL Alchemy, right? So this guy is the one that will be doing the translation for us. Remember, the first one is going to help us to connect, and this one is after connecting. This one will help us to like interpreter, language interpreter from one Python language to database language, from database language to Python language. Basically, that's what we're doing. So we download that as well. We wait for it. Okay, let me clear the system. It has been downloaded, right? So SQL Alchemy also is downloaded. The next thing is that sometimes, since we are doing these things in tables, the changes that we are using a relational database, meaning we're doing everything mostly in tables. If these things are going to be in table, there will be rows and columns. So at the start of our project, we may have some number of rows or some number of columns, right? And then we're working on it. What if along the way we say that, oh, a particular table needs an extra column or an extra row to add to it? Should we come back and restart everything again so that reform that table? Meanwhile, the table already contains data already. Right? Should we come back, clear everything, and then remove that table and write another table in place of it? No. So there will be something that will keep the current data that we have in the table and just add the columns and rows for us. We need something that will be doing those changes to the tables or to the database for us. That thing is called the Alembic, right? So we are going to need the pip install this guy. This guy will do the we need it to be doing the database table changes for us, or changes related to the database, while keeping the data that the already existing data that we have, so that we don't need to restart the entire table again, right? Yeah, it has also been installed, so we clear that. The next thing to talk about is now password. um we need to be able to, when we are sending password from our system to the front end, right, it will pass through some stuff. You don't need to make sure that when the user enters a password like 12345, then it passes through the network and come to us. When it comes to us, right, when it comes to our system, we don't need to use that 12345 and store it in the database, right? And store it in the database. Then people can easily, that number is easily readable. So we should find a way to encrypt the data. We are going to encrypt it, make it look maybe longer or shorter or whatever, but change the 12345 into something that you cannot easily crack, right? You cannot easily hack, basically. So we need something that will hash the password so that we can also verify. So what we are going to do is we are going to pip install password library, and then into brackets big crypt. I need to be installing this thing. To install this guy will take care of all the downloads and everything for us. Great. Now let's go to tokens. So basically for tokens is that it adds another layer of security to the password thing. So you can get into the system, but then the users should be not be recognized by only the password. If the user wants to do something inside the database, we need to make sure that the user, after getting in, the user uses how do you call it, a token. We need something else to be verified in order to make any single action, if any single interaction with our app. The user needs to bring its token alongside, so that we use that token to now allow it to do some functions. So understand this. First, there was password, right? We use the password to allow the user to get in and give that user that got in a particular token. Now the user wants to do something later, maybe download something in our app, or maybe change a particular name, or maybe make a purchase or do something. If the user wants to do that, that user will send a request to our app, and then our app will be like, okay, user, where is your token? Let's see your token. Now, when you take your token, we are going to verify it against and see if that is really you. Right? So we use that token to verify. So contain it's actually something that will relate to your database. So we use that token to verify. It's not passed directly into like as a request. It's not directly part of the request message, this quest body. It is part of the header side, right? That's not easily accessible. So we use that token to verify the user. Okay, so now let's download something that will actually be related to the user. Is pip install. First, let me clear the. So to clear, I'll be doing clear. People don't understand what I'm doing by clearing. Just write clear, like normal English, CLEAR, and you'll be able to clear your system. Now I'm done clearing. Now let me install the pip install Python just what do we have next is cryptography. Yes, so I'm getting that downloaded is cryptography. Great, it's also done downloading. So we do um clear again. I'm going to clear because I don't want this plenty thing to take over the entire screen for us. So clear. So all those things are downloaded for us. What if alongside maybe sometime in the system I want to just take a picture of maybe a screenshot of a particular mobile money transaction I've done, and I want to send it, store it in my app, right? It is going to come as an image. So for that matter, we need to download a library, a module that will also take care of files, download, upload, and download from our system or from our app. That particular library is called Python Multipart. Python Multipart. So pip install Python hyphen multipart. Let's install this. So you say already satisfied. We've already stored this already. It's already satisfied. Then we are good to go. We've installed almost every library already that will be needed in the system. There's one thing that this thing is saying here. That's a new release of PIP is available 24.0 to 25.11. So I'm going to say if you run this. So if this is you should run this, let's just copy it, right? I don't like suffering, so copy it and paste it. Yeah, so successfully installed. So I'm going to clear. Good. Now we've downloaded everything now, right? But those things that we downloaded again also are modules, and then we say those modules are also have their versions, right? So if their versions, everything that we downloaded right now, we need to keep their versions somewhere in the. Let me close my vent. It's going to be in the requirement uh, file, but they are not right now. They are all not here. Things that we get, the extra things we downloaded today, they are all not here, right? I can't see any of them there. So let's target one. What is one thing that we downloaded? The bcrypt, right? Or what the very first thing that we did? SQL Alchemy. So I'm not seeing any SQL Alchemy anywhere among the S. So the S I'm seeing, these things are arranged in alphabetical order. So I'm seeing Starlet, I'm seeing Sniffle, and I'm seeing Shelling, right? So now let's update it. Do you know? Remember what we use, right? To update this particular file is going to be pip freeze um, forward arrow requirement txt sharp. You've downloaded, you've updated it. So if you've updated it, you see Psycho PG2 binary is now added here. Um, Python juice is also added here. Multipart is already here. Then the next thing is SQL Alchemy. You see that. So all of them are also added to our file now. Now we are good to go. All the updates, all the downloads, all the libraries things are done. Now we need to actually start um, setting up the system for our app. So basically that's what we do. Let's meet the next day and see what's up.